Hey everyone! If you think nail extensions involve lengthy and endless work with gel and a file, then today I'm going to debunk that stereotype and show you how you can extend any length in just a matter of minutes. I'll share some tips I use during my work, and after that, you'll definitely start doing extensions. So, today we're working on these nails. We'll completely remove the length to build it up anew. Generally, for nail extensions on paper forms or tips, as in our case, it's better to remove the length completely because you simply won't be able to fit the paper form evenly, and with tip extensions, there will be a visible edge on the inside. So we remove the natural nail. If you're extending on dual forms, it's better to leave a millimeter or two to be able to align the material evenly from the inside. But today, we're specifically extending with tips. You can remove the length with tweezers, tip cutters, or like I do with a drill. Since the coating on these nails was gel, I used a drill with a blue notch. You can even use a green one. And if you're doing your nails at home, you can do it with a 100 grit file or by soaking off. But in any case, removing the gel coating is quite doable even at home without the electric file. After removal, we align the material as you can see in the video. Lateral smooth movements with the drill bit or file. This is an important step before any coating. This way, we remove all the unevenness from the previous coating and thin it out to a thin base so that the next coating lies evenly. Next, we open up the cuticle. Even if you're self-taught and only do manicures for yourself, you'll still come to this step. And the first thing to decide is the tool you'll be using. Usually a wooden orange stick is used, but you can also use a metal stick or a pusher. The main thing is to open up the cuticle, work on the pocket, and remove any pterygium and buildup accumulated there. Using a 180 grit file, we lift the scales and remove the length. The movements should be smooth and without pressure on the plate, especially with the edge of the file. It's the edge that can cause deep grooves, leading to nail plate trauma 100%. Our cuticle is soft and hasn't grown much, so it will be sufficient to use a red drill bit. If you're doing a manicure at home without a machine, then you should perform a classic manicure using a keratolytic. I talked about this method in more detail in the video about techniques. I'll link it in the description. But in short, we apply the keratolytic agent to the cuticle, wait for a minute, and then remove the pterygium. However, it's better to do this before lifting the scales of the nail plate with a file. In other words, we first do the manicure and then lift the scales with a file to prevent the keratolytic agent from clogging into the nail and causing lifting. Of course, you can neutralize it with water, but in my opinion, that's an unnecessary waste of time since we're talking about quick nail extensions today. After using the drill bit, we remove the dust with a brush and check the cuticle pocket to make sure there's no remaining pterygium, as any left behind will cause flows, which we don't want. Cuticle trimming. Here, you work with the tool that's most convenient for you. We position the lower blade under the cuticle and ensure that the upper blade doesn't rest on the finger, as you'll only be cutting the top of the cuticle, leaving the lower part intact. The scissors should be perpendicular to the cuticle. Try to trim it in one continuous strip to avoid jagged edges. If you do end up with small, rough spots after trimming, use a silicone carbide bit at 5-7000 RPM to smooth out the cuticle. This bit will remove the smallest particles and polish the skin. Next is the chemical preparation of the nail plate. I emphasize this in every video because it's important. It's crucial to remove the dust and degrease the nail to ensure good adhesion of the material. After that, we apply a dehydrator if needed, followed by Ultra Bond. We give Ultra Bond some time to evaporate and take effect, which takes about 30 to 40 seconds. By the time you finish applying to the last finger, the first one is ready to be coated with the base. Now, about the base. For nail extensions with tips and their attachment, I recommend using a flexible base with high adhesive properties, namely an acidic one. Apply a thin layer to the nails to avoid chemical or thermal burns. To ensure that the hot gel adheres well, you need a base that can hold it. A non-acidic base is unlikely to achieve this on soft nails because it won't create a strong bond. Once applied, cure it in the lamp for 1 minute. what really helps to make nail extensions fast and reliable is gel tips. Nowadays, I often opt for nail extensions with gel tips. It's fast, convenient, and allows you to do extensions on both hands at home, which is exactly what we need. From the nail plate, remove the sticky layer and prepare the tips. The process is similar to working with dual forms, with the main criterion being the grow points. They should be closed and the tip size should match the nail, neither larger nor smaller. Now wipe the tip with a degreaser. The textured attachment area for adhering to the nail is already marked here. I'm also wiping this area with a dehydrator. I'm not scratching anything with the drill anymore. I apply base just to make it wet. We don't apply any drop, so there's no excess material, and so the base doesn't seep into the lateral nail folds and under the nail. I do the same with the tip. I coat the attachment area and then I can secure it. Position the tip on the nail at about a 45-degree angle and press it down, squeezing out the base towards the free edge. I also push back the side walls to ensure there are no air pockets. Then use an ultraviolet lamp to set the tip for 5 to 10 seconds, and then we put the hands in the UV lamp for full curing. We trim the tip to the desired length with a tip cutter or nipper and file it into shape. I used to really doubt the reliability of this method, and when I first tried it, of course, everything lifted off because I didn't know the technique or principles. So keep trying and honing your skills. There's a lot of information and videos like this one available online, and not taking advantage of them would be a big mistake. After filing, use a diamond drill bit with a green or black grit to remove the step using a speed of 20-25,000 RPM. This bit is very convenient for this type of work. Alternatively, you can use a nail file, but using a drill will yield more precise and neat results. With the file, go over the surface of the tip to buff it. In that case, any coating you apply won't lift off the tip. We wipe the surface with dehydrator to remove the dust. A length like this always needs reinforcement, so before applying gel, I coat the nails with a thin layer of base. Let me explain why. When we file the tip surface, we may accidentally hit an area of the nail without a tip, leaving that area without base. So this is an extra precaution for you. I'll add that this isn't a mandatory step. You can skip it and work directly with hard gel, but it's an extra bit of assurance for you. Now, let's talk about the gel. This is builder gel, but it has a liquid consistency, making it very convenient for reinforcement using the alignment technique without filing. It looks very delicate on the nails. In general, you'll see it for yourself. Let's move on to the work. To make the gel spread easily, we first fully coat the nail. It's actually easier and faster to work this way. Use whatever brush you're comfortable with. There are standard brush types, but you should work with what feels right to you so the work goes faster. We coated the nail, remembering that the gel should reach the cuticle area, but minimally. Then we pick up a drop, place it on the nail and spread it over the plate. My first motion is down towards the free edge to give the gel direction. Then I bring the gel to the sidewalls and cuticles to distribute it evenly across the plate. My drop is quite large because the nail is long and the gel is liquid, so I work quickly to prevent any flows. Then we turn our hand over to center the gel and guide it into the apex area. our stress zone that needs the most gel, so the plate can withstand the weight. This is the highest point on the nail. If you're a beginner or doing your own nails and find this consistency awkward, there's one life hack. Put the gel in the fridge to cool it down and it will thicken up. You can do the same with thick gels if you want a more liquid consistency. Just warm up the gel. However, it's best to initially choose a gel that's comfortable for you to work with. I always cure builder gels for at least 1.5 minutes. And if the gel is heavily pigmented, no less than 2 minutes, to ensure it's fully cured with no uncured liquid gel inside during removal. Otherwise, the drill bit may get clogged and the reinforcement purpose is lost if the gel isn't fully cured. Another tip: if your nail edges are showing through, you can tint them by coating the nail with the same gel as you would a regular color. I have a more detailed video on my channel about properly reinforcing nails with gel, where we covered all the nuances and I showed 3 techniques for reinforcing nails to make it durable and reliable. I'll link it in the description. We've reinforced the nails and after curing, we remove the tacky layer. Now you can apply a top coat or color, but we'll also do a thin French design. It's essential to remove the gel dispersion layer as it's usually very pronounced and to avoid any conflict between materials. Wipe the nails thoroughly. For French, I always use a thin brush with very long bristles. It's crucial that the bristles are soft so you can control the brush and draw thin lines easily. Stiff bristles are very unruly to work with, so choose soft brushes. How do you feel about nail extensions with tips? What problems arise for you in your work? Perhaps I missed something or you're encountering difficulties. I'll do my best to help where I can. I have a top coat from Edlin with no UV filters or dispersion. I'm currently testing a new top coat for myself, and if it passes my test, I'll definitely show and tell you about it. To get ahead of it, so far I have no complaints. I applied the top coat without any leveling layers and cure it in the lamp for 2 minutes. It's better to cure top coats for a bit longer. You won't overcure them, but undercuring is easy to do. This applies to both glossy and matte top coats. I always cure matte tops in 2 stages so they wear better. First, I cure for 1 minute. Remove it from the lamp and let the top coat cool. Then back in the lamp for another minute. At the end of the procedure, don't forget to moisturize the cuticles with oil or cream. And here it is, our result. I hope I was able to convince you that this is the fastest way to extend nails. With this method, even beginners and self-taught techs can achieve professional results at home. Isn't that amazing? Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Don't forget to check out the videos I've linked in the description. They'll be invaluable for beginners. And be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. I'll say goodbye for now. Until we meet again, beauties.